Hey, this is Warren Whitlock here in a new location today, operating on the laptop in the half-built studio that I'm going to be doing some other things in, right next door to where the broken computer is that we normally do the show on. And so I didn't want to wait to get started, and I think that's what we ought to be talking about today. Uh, we've done a lot of connection shows with Thomas Mangum and talked about how we ought to have deeper connections and the value of that, and some tips along the way. And today we want to take a look at now's the time. How do you get started? What do you do? What's keeping you from taking the knowledge that you have or should or we hope have, and go ahead and go and helping the world and networking and drawing attention back to whatever it is that you want to attract people to in your life. So, as always, we've got Thomas Mangum here. Hi, Thomas.
Hola. Good to be here as always.
Great. Well, let's get right into it. Let's get started with the getting started.
I like that.
I have so many times myself when I have dozens of projects, and these things are large and small. I mean, it could be everything from I need to make a major change in my life to I really want to get that new website built. I had a note from somebody this morning looking for some help at one of the companies I advise, and they said, "Any advice for us?" And I said, "Well, let's start with that." You're not going to get much advice if you say any advice for me, or take a look at my website and tell me what you think, or do you think I ought to be in business? A lot better to say, this is particularly where I'm stuck, this is what I need. So today's question is, I know I need to network more in my business. How do I get started? What's keeping me from starting?
Yeah, I mean, there's that saying, Warren, as you know, it's like getting good at something is as simple as getting started. And it sounds so profoundly simple and silly, and it's one of those duh kind of things. And so often we'll talk about it, when, if we would have just friggin' taken a step, we would have already been getting better at that. And so as we take that concept and move that back around to getting to become a masterful networker, getting to be a better connector, people, some people will ask us, is like, man, I'm really looking for a really amazing strategic partnership, or to attract more clients. And so you and I open our mouth and we start talking about how people can open more doors that way. But sometimes you get these yeah buts, and it's like, yeah, but that's easy for you. And it's like, well, you do realize how we got better at that, right? You do realize that those individuals that you feel have built those long-term relationships and those deep relationships, and you guys know who I'm talking about. Everyone listening right now, you have people in your life that you consider a connector. It might be Warren, it might be me, it might be somebody completely different. But it didn't just happen overnight. You realize that we've put in a lot of practice. And it started by simply getting started. And here's the thing. If you're saying right now, I want to create an amazing strategic relationship, I want to attract more clients, I want to put more money in my pocket, whatever it is, whatever you want more of, Warren and I truly feel that you can do that through relationships. It's not just putting some ad online and whatever. It ultimately is a relationship. And that's when we break it down to that very basic piece. But before you start understanding even going out there and doing things, I think it would be negligent for us to ignore what's in your way right now. What's going on? If you know that if you're here and you want to be there, what's going on right now that's stopping you from going out there and talking to the people that you truly want to talk with? Is it that you don't know where to find them? Is it that you haven't defined exactly what they look like? Is it something maybe a little bit closer to home that there's some kind of limiting belief? So when I say getting good is just getting started, and where I always start the conversation with that I want to make sure that we're starting on we're very, very clear where we are right now. Is there some kind of limiting belief? Is there something that's in the way? Do you think down deep that networking is sleazy? Is it hard? Is it difficult? Is it fake or something like that? Because we got to face that. We got to face that head on. What do you think about that, Warren?
Yeah, I'm thinking about a series of books that I've read, and I'm actually looking to see the guy's name here. And there's a book. It's called The War of Art, and my lookup here has given me nothing but The Art of War. so it is The War of Art. Stephen Wakefield. No, I've just drawn a blank today. It's the book called The War of Art, and the reason it was recommended to me was telling the story about the golf pro legend of the Legend of Bagger Vance, I believe is the name of the movie.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote that went through a dry spell or a not getting started spell in his life that went on for decades. And so the War of Art was I was in a retreat with Mark Victor Hansen, helping authors get to think big about their project. And he said something about that. I immediately got started. I remember it was a good day because the first time I'm setting in something and I go out and buy the book while I'm while the speaker is speaking. And he said there was another book at the time he recommended. He said, I think that one's out of print. I said, no, it's not. I just bought a copy. I was Mr. Tech that day. But back to the story. War of Art was talking about all the things that keep you from finding your muse or getting started or creating the great project. Well, what's even better, and the whole reason I brought up that long story, was to get to the fact that there's several other books. One's called Going Pro, and he discussed this quite a bit, something that I think a lot of us are, reluctant to talk about, the reluctance of getting started or doing something. And this is more in general, but it certainly applies here. It's that feeling you get of you're just getting ready to do this, and boy, this happened to me once over the weekend. I attended an event. It was fairly slow. It was going on for 2 days, and I knew the end of it would be good. And so, I said, I need to go back to the end. And, took a nap. Got done with the nap and decided I don't want to go out. and missed some opportunities because of it. And the funny thing is, you'd asked me about it Friday. I said, I don't know how I'm going to get to everything because in addition to that event, if there's a lull, there's 2 or 3 other places I want to go. It was just things were happening this weekend in Las Vegas. Well, it's Las Vegas. It's already happened. And I didn't have any reason to go to any of the things. And I think that's the key. I didn't really feel like I needed to go. I didn't have any passion driving me to do that. And so in Going Pro, it talks about having the courage to go ahead and do something and do a mediocre job of it. Mm-hmm. Not that mediocre's okay. You're doing the best you can. It's just understandable that when you get started on something, your work is not going to be your best. But the one thing we've proven doesn't work when you're in that situation is to wait until you are good enough.
Very well said. Very well said. One of the things that you and I discussed on the last show is that for several shows, we've been talking about, I think sometimes you can get rather philosophical or, we share our opinions on networking in different areas. And one of the things, my intention over the next several weeks is to bring a lot more tactical to it. And to actually show, if you're watching the show, I want to break it down. Like you already know that we believe in connecting. We've talked about this in so many ways and shapes and forms about the power, the sheer power to make a massive change in the world. I mean, Warren is involved with Billions Rising. He gives example after example after example. after it just takes one individual, one thing, and one person can truly change and open up your life. So we're moving and shifting a bit over the next several episodes, and we'll kind of sift this in over the next several weeks, maybe kind of spice it up, put some different things in between. But my personal intention is to show you exactly how to do that, to truly move you through the process of developing a level of mastery to being a really great networker. And one of the things we're starting with today is making sure you understand is that while we can go right into some of the tips, it's very important to kind of check off, hey, do you know where you're going? Because I think someone can say, hey, I want this in my life. Okay, well, why do you want it? Why do you want to become a more masterful networker? Why do you feel that you need to connect? Oh, I need to connect because that's how I'm going to attract more clients to my business. That's how I'm going to close more people. That's how I'm going to find that strategic partner because I don't really like networking and things like that. Okay, great. So we just need to know where you're starting from, because Warren, here's something that has absolutely happened with a couple of people I brought in as clients. Is when we went through this process, I found with two individuals I got in mind right now, two individuals, when I asked them, I says, why do you feel so strongly that you've got to be a really great networker? And they go, what are you talking about? And they didn't expect that to come to me because I'm biased. You know that. I mean, you and I are biased. We think that's the keys to the kingdom, baby. The better you are at relationships. But that's not always the right solution. And so my question to this individual, to both these individuals, I'm just thinking about the one right now, is, well, why do you feel this is so important? What do you mean it's important? It's important because I've got to be a great networker to get to here. Well, do you enjoy people? Do you feel that you enjoy people? And it sounds like a silly question. And this guy came back to me, and after a few kind of questioning and discovery processes, he found that he's just not really interested in people. He's just not. And so whatever we were going to do after that point, Warren, is that it was going to be difficult. It was going to be fake. It was always going to be him being fake because he had no genuine interest. We had a different personal issue, more of a life coaching issue that we had to work out with him so that it wouldn't be so difficult to do this, to work through the process of becoming a masterful networker. And this is a massive aha, because how many times do we jump into some process or some program and we make it more difficult than it needs to be because we never checked in on why we're even doing this in the first place, as if there's no other choice.
Right. It's and as you describe that process you want to go through and tell us about steps to take and tactical things like that. I'm going, this is great, and then we look like what should be the first thing we talk about is having the cobwebs cleared out and decide you have a goal, you're going to get started, and you're going to go take some action. And it comes back to a lot of philosophical things today, but this is just so important. And sometimes it's everything. I'm thinking back to the story that I started us with the guy that had been asking for advice, but nothing in particular. He took some action. He immediately came back and asked for that, and he asked for what he wanted, and it was that he's trying to network. He considers himself to be a tech, and the interesting thing is, can name drop all day long of people he knows, things he knows, but it says he's not a marketer, he's not a salesman, and he was looking at where to post a listing for something new. And and we found the right place. There's a phenomenal different way to network. Again, once you decide what you're going to do, is angel.co or Angel List. I'm not sure exactly what the name is. Another thing I got to look up and put in the notes. But anyway, this site has just been phenomenal as I see people there who are listing what their company is going to do by what kind of coders they are.
Yeah.
We'd like to bring people together, and we know PHP and Java and I can't even remember. I just don't care enough to remember those kind of things. Now, if I needed a coder with those skills and I had a job for them, those skills would be very important resume stuff. But until they got straight on the idea that, I said, how do you want to change people's lives? And the next thing we know, we've opened up that, oh, how they're going about the whole company is we're doing something that's some little part of what another software already does, and we think we're doing a better job of it. And I said, no, you're not. That's what I remember when I saw 100 spreadsheet companies doing that in the 80s. We're going to make a better spreadsheet than Excel. It actually was Lotus 123 and any of the spreadsheets before that. And Excel came along and said, we're going to be they bought a company, said this is going to be the one that works with your Microsoft stuff, and game over. They won on a marketing move. That's probably not the best example of having a good mission statement and going for it, but think about what it is you really, what effect do you want to change in the world? And today, think big, because we now have the tools to make things happen rapidly. We're talking about companies going from startup to billions of dollars in no time. And if you want to get in that game and play on a bigger field, yeah, networking is an important part of it. It's a lot of ways to do it. A lot of people to bring on your team to help you. And in particular, if you just feel totally stuck, I know a couple of guys that, without going outside of this conversation, that could talk to you.
Yeah.
And in fact, the plug is on my on the lower part here. There's a URL there, 93p.com/masterful. Not just master, but masterful. So that's my short link over to a course that Thomas has, a good way to connect with him, and let's go ahead and let's get started.
Yeah. So now the other pieces that I when I initially was talking about, you just got to check off those things. So I'm bringing it up so that you understand that your results may vary if you don't truly take stock, and I call this self-discovery. Every single one of us have to do that. When we say we want something, we want more money, more clients, more, and I figure most people watching, they want that. Now, you might want another job, and I'm okay with that because I've actually worked with people who's like, listen, I just want to learn to become a more masterful networker so that I can get the job of my dreams. Completely makes sense. So whatever you're looking to get, make sure that you are very, very clear and you have a crystal clear picture of what is it that you are looking to get. Do you have a picture of that? What does the strategic partner look like? What does the client look like? What does the ideal job look like? What does the lead look like? Whatever that is. And then the second part of that, and make sure that you're actually taking some notes right now. Make sure that you absolutely write this down. Open up a new document on the computer and write that down. As well, what is it that you think is in your way right now? And this is an action step, something really, really simple for you. What is that thing that you feel is in the way? Is it that I believe networking really sucks and I really don't want to do it, I just know it's important? Well, that's important for us to know, don't you think? It's important to check in on it. I'm not judging you for it. Warren, I would never judge you on that. It's that I just want you, this is personal. You don't have to share this. It's personal. You need to check in, is that what is your belief around that? Or maybe it's just that, hey, the thing that's really stopping me is that I just got a million other things that I got going on. I'm not scared of people. I really love people. But I got a million other things going on. Fine. Just check in with it. That's all I'm asking you to do right now. Now, when you do that, the only thing that you should be doing after today's episode, other than taking a couple of notes and reflecting upon this, because that's an action step. As I've always been taught, one step in the right direction is better than a month of thinking, can I do it, should I do it, and worse yet, just thinking about it, right? It's like the worst. So just one small step in the direction. Doesn't have to be a big step, it's just some kind of small step, please. Now, if you think this is just completely easy and you're like, done, give me something else, fine. Then here's what I'd like you to do. Let's use the example, and everyone's going to be a little bit different, but let's use the example that you think networking events are a little fake, a little sleazy, just a little bit, okay? And you'd rather not. Here's what I'd like you to do. Find some group that you'd like to visit. around something that you enjoy. Maybe you like wine. Maybe you like talking about travel. Maybe you're kind of big on the book club thing. Maybe you love Maltese dogs, something like that. And I'm being serious here. I'd like you to look up on meetup.com or just Google something in your area and get out to that meeting. I'd just like you to go out there. Now, let's answer one of the questions that often comes up right now. Thomas, what does Maltese dogs have to do with me getting more clients? What does travel or cooking or going around something that I enjoy? Because I promise you, if networking is going to happen wherever you go. Now, this could be church. Maybe you need to go over to temple. I mean, if you enjoy going to temple or church or something like that, go. I'm not going to give you everything on this show. I just want to break this down so it's not overwhelming. And I think that's a big deal. Just some small steps that you can do each time to develop yourself as a masterful networker. This, I promise you, will lead you to attracting that ideal strategic partner, that ideal client, whatever it is that you're looking for. So, again, you're checking in on, are you very clear on what you're looking to attract? What do you want? Are you reflecting upon what do you think is getting in your way right now? What's stopping you? What kind of limiting belief? Something like that. What do you believe right now might be in your way? And I gave you the example of finding an event that you might enjoy. Just get out to it. That's all I'm asking. It's practice. Remember, practice, 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 practice. You may not love it right now. You might not even like it right now. And you know what? That's completely normal. It's human. So just find the activity around something that you enjoy. Give me a little bit of trust right now. I'm asking for the tiny, tiny bit of trust for me to be able to prove it to you. And I don't mind if you lay it down and say, Thomas, I want you to prove it to me. If you think this is going to help me become a more masterful networker, then all right, buddy, I'll take a couple of these little small steps, but you got to give me a little trust and a little line right here. Warren, did I miss something on that?
No, I think you really got it. I'm just thinking through an incident that's happened to me. I'm talking to a family member I hadn't talked to in a while, catching up, and the reluctance to do that. Started the conversation with text messages. I'm doing, I'm relaxing. I'm watching a movie with my wife, and I see this pop up, and an answer, and then and it was like, but the questions weren't, will you be here Tuesday? It was more like, what's wrong with me in my life kind of questions, and like, maybe this person needs a little bit more of my time. And I got out of my rut. My personal rut is just, once I decide that it's a good day to catch up on watching shows, binge watching, or catch 4 movies back to back, boy, it's hard to get me out of there, Quick trip to go find some food, and it's not going to be go to a restaurant and eat, because I've got to eat. I've got to fill the fuel, and I've got to focus on watching people. And I wish I could apply that much focus to other things in life sometimes. And I did this, and the connection was made, and I feel like my life has changed. Things were said that we hadn't talked about in a long time, and again, it wasn't a problem we had, it was just in general. And I started thinking of what else is like that. What else am I putting off that I know is something I need to do? So pay attention to what Thomas said there, and write it down. And that write it down part means write it down. You can put it on the computer if you want. I found that I'm as big of a computer geek, wanting to get everything into the computer, everything digital as possible. But I know that sometimes it's taking out the piece of paper and writing things down. And write it down, reflect on it, make sure that you have a goal. And I'll tell you, in corporate consulting to personal consulting to talking to one of my children about what they want out of life, it gets down to being very clear about what you want. Like the guy that was asking me questions today, once he told me what he wanted, and that opened me up. I couldn't stop.
Right.
And I'm going to add one other thing that I think in getting out of your comfort zone, you need to, find someplace to go, something to do, a task that's hard, are all good things for doing that. But one of them that I just just told you about for last night. I went out and reached out to a person, and that's what I need. And if you don't have that person in your life, there's a URL at the bottom of the screen, and find Thomas.
Yeah.
Send me a note. There's humans out there that want to connect to you, and maybe we'll lead to the next person that you talk to. Maybe we'll become best of friends. Maybe we'll be doing hangouts a year from now. So it happened with Thomas and I. That's, go ahead and take that action. First, get as clear as you can and write it down. Make it as simple as possible. This is what I want to have happen. And like Thomas says, it might not be that you need to be a gregarious networker. It might be something else you need. But go ahead and state what it is you want to accomplish and work backwards. It will work, and we'll tell you some more next time.
Warren, I want to, if I may add one quick little thing here, is that I want to make sure everybody understands the perspective that we're giving here. Is that while Warren and I we take the biased angle that of focusing in on becoming a master connector, relator, and the people skills. Make no mistake about it, it's not just for the sake of networking's sake. It's not. Now, we're a little unusual. I think both of us enjoy people's company, and we just enjoy the company. And we're also very, very clear that actually most of our clients, and I think your clients probably as well, Warren, I know my clients it's most of them, the ones that I'm working with, are not like you and I. They're not. I work with far more guys that they truly find networking a little skeezy. I mean, they just the little fake and all that, and they want a better way. But it's a means to an end, and I'm okay with that. So understand that when we're talking about networking, it's not that soft skill. I truly understand is that this is how you get yourself book solid. This is how you get those gigs. It is the key reason that I just got back from Tennessee from doing a gig with Volkswagen. It's why I've worked with PayPal, the San Diego Zoo, the state of Massachusetts, all of that. They came from cultivating these skills. And you can do it too. And I want to show you how to do that. If you want to work with those big companies, then we can show you how to do that. So, all right, take these simple steps, and I'll hear you next time. So, Warren, it's all yours.
All right, then. That's the broadcast for today. See us next time. My channel is on YouTube. I'm Daily Warren, and try to not find me on any kind of a search. I'm here to listen. I'm here to connect. I'm here to talk to you. I'm saying the same for Thomas. Go ahead, reach out to us. Let us know what you need. If we can't do it for you or get somebody to do it, we'll help you brainstorm how to do it. Life's problems are solvable once you get started. Thanks.